everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, and good evening to you, Horlixs.
Thank you. You too. Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad at all. So, yeah, goodness me. I'm just looking now. We've got 10 people watching so far, and that's amazing. So if them 10 people can now hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit the subscribe button, that'd be great. If you already haven't done so.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, so big thank you to Horlixs tonight for setting up the show, and doing the intros and outros as well, because they're absolutely fabulous. So, right, so we're going to do the same format as we did the last show then, just say hello to everybody and then just pick out bits of chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have got, it's 10 in there already. I'm not going to read them all out because everyone's saying hello to everyone. But we have Steve131 in, we've got Marie in, D Harris, Gillian, Warren James, Staff DMC, we've got Jay's channel, Yorkshire Crafter, and Danno's Universe in. So hello everyone.
Hello, and yeah, we've got Warren in there as well, and Warren, and D Harris, yeah. So
D says evening Alex and Sir Dave. So good
hello.
evening. And Gillian says, good evening, Dave and Horlixs, and everyone in chat.
Hello, Gillian.
And Dee says, oh, good job on the new outro, Alex. Oh, the outro. Yeah, that's changed again. So just keep your eyes peeled at the end of this show.
Yeah. And yeah, I've had a sneak peek as well. So, and it's fabulous. It really is. It's fabulous. Yeah. So,
yeah,
so,
it's changed 3 times in the last 3 shows. So, but things keep getting added and stuff keeps occurring, and yeah, just I can't help myself. But I want to keep it up to date. And I think anytime something happens or something funny happens, and I'm going to add it because it's just part of who we all are, and
yeah, things happen, and we get things wrong sometimes, and we have a bit of a laugh, and and we want to include you all in it as well. So
yeah,
okay.
So yeah, thank you to that. We've got Ian's just popped up. Hello all. Hi Ian.
Hi Ian.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
Oh yeah,
sorry,
Mark, that's all right. Yeah, no, just saying, Ian, thanks for your image yesterday. It has been used well, and it is in our new outro today.
It is. It is. Yeah, keep watching. So Danno Builds is in there as well, and Anfield road layout in the loft. So we've got Lee and Dave in there, and yes, Ian says cool.
Yeah, it'll be a while, but I've done it. Right, so what are we going to do then? Are you going to show off first, or shall I show off first?
You show off first, yeah, go on. And we'll go single screen to you and see what you've got to show us.
So this model has been bit of a high and a low, really. I'm sure it will get better, but since last week, because last week, let me change my camera, I might help.
I'm going to do that.
So yeah, that's all dried now, ready for some paint. I'm going to have a go at painting this evening. So that is going to be my job. But since I've been painting some other bits and bobs, as you know, the wheels have been done. I already showed you them off last week.
Yeah.
Oh, there is 5. Yeah, sorry, I was looking for the other one. So you got the rear wheels, and then you got the front wheels, and then the spare.
Yeah.
Really happy with them. They're all dry. This one's a little bit thick and crusty, but this was, I think, the first one I did, and I wasn't overly happy. I don't know what happened with that, but since last week and painting again, I mean, they've come out. I'm really happy with them. So
I think they look superb. Yeah, they do.
So I'm going to try and position this one. I'm going to work out how I'm going to display it and put this on the back. So yeah, that's those. So since I've been trying to play with the spray paint to get some bits done, ready to go on. Now I've had a bit of hell with it, but the good stuff, it's okay, is the wheel arches.
Wow.
Now, this was a lot of paint on here. This is actually quite thick coats on here.
Yeah.
Because it was bubbling up and I had to fill it. But it's come out all right. I got away with it.
Yeah.
So that's the arches done.
Yeah.
Done inside as well. So yeah,
Beautiful.
I'm really happy with them. Hope they're going to fit okay. I didn't paint the very end here because that's actually where I used my tweezers to hold it to paint.
I think that's a bit of sprue anyway, isn't it? I don't know.
It's the bit that's going to hook onto the chassis to
right.
stick it in place. So I don't think you're going to see it because this has been well embedded inside. But if it does, I can just touch it up with a bit of black paint and a paintbrush.
Yeah.
And I've done the same here. So I use that just to hold it with the tweezers to spray it.
Jolly good, yeah. Yeah. I hope mine come out as good. I really do.
I mean, this was, as I say, I'm going to show you some images in a minute of what happened with some other bits.
Yeah.
On my camera. But the same happened to these, but I got away with it. I just went a bit thick on the old paint. And it sort of helped to fix it. You can see a slight blemish in the light there.
Yeah.
Just there. But you can't see it to the eye.
No. No, I think
this is the front bumper bit.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's not the greatest, and you can see the paint's thick because it's a bit.
Yeah.
See, it's all bubbled up, but to the naked eye, you can't.
I think once it's on the model, and the model's, because you aren't going to go very close to the model like that, are you?
No. I gave the steering wheel a spray. That came out okay.
Yeah.
That's still on the spray, so I might have to. I'm going to have to touch that up. But my paint, one of the problems was, you can see the sprue. It was spitting like hell.
Yeah.
Rather than it spraying a mist, there was big clumps coming out, and this was not a block nozzle because it was a new can.
Yeah.
I gave it a really good shake, and it's just. But that's just to what's going to go on. So for the end of last week, I think I did this on stream.
Yeah, you did.
I built the chassis and I've now painted that.
Yeah, it looks lovely.
Again, very thick coat, but I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd try hand painting the cab.
Yeah.
And it's come out quite nice.
Yeah, I love that.
Bit dusty. I need to do another coat on this. Because I've got some new paint, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But that came out okay. The problem is, I'm going to actually put my glove on because I don't want to contaminate these. I sprayed the bonnet, doors, and the rear of the cab. And as you can see, I've had to sand all this back.
Yeah.
Really, I've had to sand it. I haven't done the inside there because it's under the bonnet, but I've had to sand this all back. Same as this.
Yeah.
See, this has actually had a coat of primer today, a very light coat. I still need to do another. You can see it completely. I completely messed this up.
Yeah.
It's a bit wishy-washy, as I say. I've had more primer on it today, but I've had to sand all this back because it just didn't. The paint didn't sit well on it at all. And I was a bit.
It looks as though it'll come along nicely now, though.
I hope so, yeah. And that's the same with the doors. It's thick in some areas because I didn't want to sand too close to the detail.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's going to come out all right. But again, you can see it's finely scratched now because I've had to sand that down.
Yeah.
Same with the front bonnet panels.
Yeah.
not too worried about the back, but
No.
I've had to sand them down, and I can't really get into the details of the grooves there. So I'm hoping that's going to paint up okay. Same with the other door. I've had to sand that back.
Yeah.
So what happened was I did exactly the same as I did with the cab, and that came out fine. But I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Oh, excuse the coffee machine.
Coffee machine's doing one. So we've got Crafty Chris in there, everyone, as well. So good evening to Crafty Chris. Hello, darling.
Hi, Chris. So yeah, as you can see, after 2 coats of primer, I let it all dry. I did the top coat, and I've got all these dots everywhere.
Yeah.
Not a very great, not the best image because I've zoomed right in, but it was just awful. And then it was almost like it was oil on there, and it was separating, and it wasn't sticking in these points. I was like, oh, it's no good. You can see how rough the paintwork is, and that was after 2 coats.
Yeah.
So I thought, no, can't have that. So I ended up sanding it all back. This is what happened with the cab. So all done, prepped, primered, and this is after the top coat. All this started appearing.
Oh no. Yeah, it's not good.
You can see the inside came out beautifully.
Yeah, looks grand.
This here, all these lines and marks started appearing very similar to the one on the bonnet.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going a bit too happy with it, and I got a little bit stressed with it. So I gave it a really thick coat of paint.
Yeah.
It covered it, but then I ended up with runs everywhere.
Yeah.
My fault. So I ended up all along here. I don't think I've got a picture of that. Oh, I have. You can see I ended up with a run all along there.
Yeah.
All down here. Like, it was horrendous. And especially over here, you can see it all clumped up. So yeah, I couldn't understand it because I painted the cab like minutes before.
Yeah.
So that's why I've had to sand all the cab back. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So
yeah,
I have to. Oh, there we go. So I have to. I've put some primer on here again. I've sanded it back, given it a light coat of primer. I think I've preserved most of the details.
I think that's going to come out a lot better now.
I mean, it's really, really smooth. I can't feel any lumps or bumps.
Yeah.
I was hoping, but now I've sanded it, I'm going to give it another coat of primer.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to rough it up with a little bit of 1500 grit sandpaper.
Yes.
Probably give it another rinse when it's fully dry. And then I'm wearing gloves now to stop oil from my hands getting on any of these parts.
I think that's a good idea, yeah.
And then I'm going to try painting again and see what happens. Now, I've ordered a new can of primer, and not that I think that's the problem, because I've used the old can of primer on this again. The primer seems to go on beautifully.
Yeah.
And then I've ordered a new tin of the paint as well, which is TS7 Racing White, because I've sprayed all these bits and I didn't feel there was going to be enough to repaint this and the other bits.
Yeah.
So I bought a new can, and then I'm going to have to spray this with another coat with the new paint, just in case there's a slight colour difference.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It does need another coat, actually. You can still see a bit of primer. But that came out all right. But as you can see under there, didn't go well under there. And that's what was happening.
Yeah. And I suppose you could hand paint the inside there.
I could do, yeah. That's a good idea.
They probably would have had some sort of headlining in. Not very good, like, but it would have had some headlining in. And what they used to do was just cover some hardboard with some leatherette, and they used to fasten that to the roofs and sides.
Right.
But
yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. So I was a bit deflated about all that, but we haven't had the best weather, and I have to spray outside. And I did try and it was a sunny day. It wasn't Arctic cold, but it wasn't that warm either. It was probably about 9-10 degrees outside. So probably maybe it was that. I don't know, but I don't understand why the cab came out all right. And then last of all, what I've got done, and Dave's already seen this.
I'm just going to quickly say hello to David Bassett because he's joined us. Hello, David.
So I've built the front end.
Yeah.
So that's the front grille, headlights in, and the radiator in.
Yeah, and I'm so envious.
And as you can see, I've cut out a little square in this bottom corner.
Yeah.
And I've got wires.
Yeah.
Because I've made the headlights work.
Yeah.
So I shall demonstrate now with my power bank. Now I've hidden, I mean, you can't, I don't know if you'll be able to see. You might be able to.
No, not really. Oh.
You can see those tiny wires going into the headlights.
Oh yeah, we can now, yeah.
So I drilled with my little Dremel, smallest drill bit I had. These are nano, or the smallest LEDs you can buy.
Wow.
And I've got them through, sandwiched it in between because this radiator panel glues on the top.
Yeah.
So I've sort of glued that on. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see, probably not.
Inside of the lights, yeah.
You can see the lights inside with a bit. I've secured them in with a little bit of hot glue, and the resistors. I don't know if you can see. Just like if you look in some of the grill, in some of the light, you can see some of the wiring in there.
Ah, very clever.
And inside there, especially there, you can see the red flecks.
Yeah.
That's like the wiring. If I can, I might get a paintbrush in there and try and paint them up later. And then this, I've used a chrome pen.
Yeah.
Liquid chrome.
Molitor, yeah.
So that's really good stuff. And it was really cool because it's on like you can see where it goes. If you just dab the pen on it, it sort of ran and filled the gaps for me. Right. I didn't have to really draw it on as such. I just kept tapping the nib and it would run, and then it would run along the bits where it should have gone. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, some of them had a chrome strip right down the centre as well.
Yes. I was going by, well, yeah, I think ours does, but I didn't do that because I wanted to wait for all the rest to dry, but there's still more to go on there. But all the resistors and everything are hidden inside this one unit.
So and you've chromed inside the lights as well, haven't you?
Yes, inside the lights I chromed.
Wow.
And then when I plug it in, USB.
Oh, yes, indeed. Fantastic.
There we go.
Yes, indeed. Now that makes all the difference, that does. Certainly does.
So yeah, that's I did all this on stream because it was quite fiddly. I also soldered the wrong resistor on. These wires for these lights, as you can see, are so small.
Yeah.
Trying to solder them was ridiculous. So, and I actually soldered the wrong LED on one of them. So, one was really bright and one was dim. These are quite dim. I wanted them being quite dim.
Yeah.
I know they look bright on stream, but they're not. They're not bright at all. So yeah, I'm super happy with that. And then the plan is this will sit on, I've already measured this up. That will sit in that little groove just in there.
Yeah.
And then, so that'll be the front.
Yeah.
And the plan is the wires come out in such a way, I'm going to get some more black shrink. I think I'm going to wait till it's done. I'm going to try and secure the cable down the chassis somehow.
Brilliant. Yeah. Oh, it looks like it will go. Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Or I can like do something there, but until it's built, I'm not sure. And also, my plan is to do rear lights as well, which will connect into this. I've got some other LEDs for that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to solder up some more for the rear, and then it will just be powered off a USB. Simple as that. I was going to do Arduino and all that, and I still might at some point, but once the basics are in, I can play with how these connect to afterwards. So that's where we're at.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So I bet you're really pleased with the progress there.
Yeah, I am. I say, apart from the actual body, the cab and the bonnet and stuff, we don't need that yet. I mean, most of that's the last thing for the build, but I just wanted to get some of it painted up and done.
Of course, yeah.
And it's just say, well, actually, I can just see a spot of paint there where it's spat.
Yeah.
But obviously this will have another coat anyway. I'm going to have to rewash this, and I'm going to sand it, rough it up with some really fine grit sandpaper. Give it a
light, very, very light going over.
Yeah, really light. And just to give the paint something to stick to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we're at. But today I'm going to be painting the engine. So
lovely.
Yeah, right, over to you. Sorry, I've gone on for minutes.
No, you're all right. You're all right. Well, I haven't done an awful lot at all. Just let me change my camera. I'm having struggles with my mouse, getting my mouse going tonight. So it maybe wants some mouse food.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you, Lee, Dave, Matt, David Bassett, and Dee. Thank you very much for the comments.
There we
go. Nice.
Okay, so well, I'm pretty much the same. I've got the wheels done, but my wheels are going to be different to Horlixs's. My wheels are just going to be red, all in. So, and it does say on the box that you can, obviously use your own color scheme or whatever, or you can use the color scheme that's on the box. And Horlicks has used the color scheme on the box, and he's done the centers of the wheels black, and I've left them red. So that's that done, and they've all got their tires on and everything, and then they're all painted behind them as well. So they're all together, they're all glued and everything, and all in place. The engine, I think you saw the engine last week, and the engine, I painted my engine quite a while ago now, and I've just done it, the main base part of the engine black, and then I've painted the red rocker cover, a red fan, and then just gone black and silver onto the hose pipe there and the hose pipe here, and then the air cleaner at the top there is red, the carburetor is silver, and the intake and manifold and the exhaust manifold are silver, and then the exhaust as it comes down there, that's silver as well, which will match up with the silver exhaust that I'm going to put on the rest of the chassis. So I think Horlicks is going to do the same sort of color scheme, and I got these colors off the Sunstar Bedford OB coach, the dual full Bedford OB coach. So that's what I did with them, that colour scheme. I just pinched them off the Bedford OB dual coach of the Sunstar model. Saw that they had a red rocker cover, a red fan, a black base, and then silver and black with the pipes and everything. So that's all I did with that. So that's that.
So that's that. I'm going to do mine like that. Although I might not do the fan blade red, I might do that silver.
Yeah, just to make it look a little bit different. Yeah, that might be a good idea, actually, Horlixs. Yeah, and then I think the trouble with these, though, if we don't glue the side panels and the top panel on, if we do glue them on, you're not going to see this engine at all. So what I might do, and I think I've seen one somewhere where they've made the side panels and the front panels, they've made them so that you can actually take them off and inspect inside the engine. So what I'm on about is the top cover there for the engine, and then the side panels, which are actually under this tape at the minute. So if I was to glue the side panels and the top panel together and just left that so I could lift it off the model, then we could see the inside the engine bay then. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to see inside the engine bay because you'll be just looking through these little slots here on the engine side. You're not going to be able to see the engine. So, but if them two was glued to that bonnet top, so the bonnet sides were glued to the bonnet top, I would imagine you'd be able to take that off and you'll be able to see the engine. So pretty much all this is, it's all sprayed up, ready for the top coats. So I've just got to cut them out the sprues, and I've just been taping off the sprue here today, and just tried spraying these little brackets, because today I'm going to carry on with the chassis as best I can. So, and I've just been spraying these little brackets at this end. I can get me tape off, that is. So I don't know whether you can see these brackets or not, but these are not very good at all. So my spray was going all over the place. It was drying in bloom. It was blooming. So that means it's drying dull in places. So that means that it's too cold to spray or too damp to spray. So anyway, I tried giving them a quick spray today, and I thought, well, they're small enough parts to actually hand paint. So I think what I might do is take them off the sprue, put them on the chassis, and hand paint them tonight. So that's one bit I'm going to do tonight. The other bit I'm hoping to get done is to do the back axle. Now that sprayed absolutely perfectly, did the back axle. So, and as you can tell, it sprays in two halves there. So, because you have to glue it together. I didn't spray the back because obviously you're not going to see the insides, and I want something for the glue to hold on to. So that's the back axle. So I'm going to hopefully get that on tonight. Hopefully I'm going to get these back springs on as well. They've been sprayed. I don't know whether I actually did them last week or not, or this week. I can't remember. But yeah, they've been sprayed and they're going to go on the chassis this week. The prop shaft and the UJ joint, they didn't spray very well. But again, the run is small pieces, and I can paint them by hand in the black, so to put onto the chassis. So all being well, in tonight's stream, I want to get the exhaust on as well, and the exhaust hasn't been primed, but I'm just going to rough it up with a bit of sandpaper and get some silver paint on there. That's the exhaust, and I'm hoping to get these running boards on the battery, and a few other bits and pieces on the chassis, and I'm hoping to complete, if I can, stage 3, and this is stage 3. So I've got stage 3 partly done because I've got the front springs on the chassis, I've got the tank straps on, and all the widgets there for the springs. I've got the front axle on, the steering bar, and the little bracket for the exhaust. So I've got to put the engine on, I've got to put the prop shaft on, I've got to put the rear axle on and the 2 springs, and then I can probably start on the battery and the running boards. So I'm hoping to get quite a bit of that done tonight if I can, all being well. So yeah, going back to the chassis, I think I was working on this last week, and I got the axle on there, the front axle and the steering bar, and all the joints here for the for the springs. So there's 4 joints at the rear there for the springs, and then there's a joint here for the exhaust manifold, and two here for the tank. So I got all them bits and bobs on. Now I might leave the engine off for a little time yet until I get these other bits on, like the axle and the springs and everything, and then I might put the axle on. The axle on last if I can, with the prop shaft, and put the engine on as well. So I'm not I've not got the engine in the way, if you know what I mean, of me holding the chassis. So yeah, but that's as far as I've got so far, and I'm loving it. Other than that, I cut some pieces out of the sprue, just like Horlixs did. So I've cut out the wings. I've got both wings cut out, and I've got I've got both wings cut out, and I've got the radiator cut out and the radiator grill cut out, and they're all ready to spray in black once they've been sanded a little. So because there's still bits of sprues on them, of course, because we want to hold them like that when we spray them, but where the other sprues have been, they're just going to want sanding a little bit. So if I've got time today, I just want to sand off them little bits that are in the way, and then maybe give them a light sanding, getting ready for some top coat as well. So yeah, so that'll be my next move. So in effect, Horlicks is a little bit in front of me. Well, it's quite a lot way in front of me, but that's okay, because I don't mind being behind at all with all these bits. So because I like to catch up. Okay, and that's me. I think I'm going to do a bit of painting, a bit of gluing, a bit of sticking, and yeah, so you'll see that tonight, all being well.
So, can I just have a look at the other side of that engine again?
Yeah, you certainly can. Do you want it like that? I mean, I don't know whether that's any good in that. So what I did, I just painted the detail on this side. I just painted the hose black and silver. I didn't pick out any other details at this side, apart from the rocker cover, which is obviously red, and then I put a black cap on there as well.
Okay, lovely.
So yeah, no, I decided to keep the most of the detail that side, where the carburetor and the inlet and exhaust manifold was, and the air cleaner and what have you. So yeah, we could go further with this. We could put spark plug leads on and everything, but then you're getting rather silly, because obviously it's only small as this. It's only 2 inches long in total. So it depends how far you want to go with it, really. Right. So anytime you want to see that Horlicks, just let me know, and I'll move it up to the camera.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got Peter Webster that's visited us tonight. So hi, Peter. Thanks for joining. We're not picking out all the chat tonight, but just bits of chat that we see coming along. So goodness me, yeah, a lot of people in chat tonight. So we've got 18 watching so far, I can see. So those 18, if you'd like to give us a thumbs up, please. And if you haven't subscribed to the channels, subscribe to the channels, and have a look in the description down below as well, because you'll see some other channels in there of other part work builders. And we're part of just a group of people that's building models, all sorts of different models, right from TT scale model railways to great big models like the Titanic and such like. So we do all sorts of everything, plus plastic modeling as well. And we have our own other show, the Northern Model Builders and Crafters. So, and yeah, we have that on once a fortnight every Wednesday. So or once a fortnight a Wednesday. And yeah, we have quite a variety of things going off in our little group of builders, don't we, Horlicks?
Yes, we do.
So I'm going to have a slurp of my tea. Okay, so So yeah, I can see in the chat there that you're all talking about layouts, railway layouts and such like, and having the room and all that malarkey. Yeah, quite a few of us are of senior years, and we've had things like that in the past ourselves. Like, you know, we've had my dad. He built a layout that was actually filled a whole bedroom once, and yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. So when I was a kid, there was all sorts going off in our house. There was model railway going round, and lots to see on this model railway, and tunnels and bridges and things. It was fantastic, and I never did get to build one later on in life. Apart from, you know, maybe just having one out on a board now and again. But it's like everything else, isn't it? It's finding the space and the room for it, and it's quite difficult.
It. I mean, I love railways as well, but just it does take up a big footprint.
Yeah, certainly does.
I'd love a garden railway. That's my ultimate.
Yeah.
So I'm not the best at painting, and this first layer is always going to look the worst.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to sort of separate and bubble, and
yeah.
But it will come good when I have another coat on.
Yeah, I fully understand that, and I fully appreciate that will happen. So, because I'll be pretty much the same with this. Silver paint is going on here, and it'll be not too good, I can tell you, the first coat. So, nice thin even coats here, there and everywhere, and it starts to work a bit better then. Right, so if I do that, and then I can find out where I need to be with these little brackets. Okay, so let me move these bits out of the way. So if you want to see them, any of them bits again, Horlixs, just give me a shout and I'll bring them into shot. So, needle and thread. What do we need? We need some springs. Yeah, I need the exhaust, but that's going to take time for the paint to dry. And I want an engine on, so I'm going to put some springs on, I think. So they'll need cutting off the sprue. The good thing about this sprue is that there is a lot holding these bits and pieces on. I don't know whether you've noticed, but there's 3 or 4 bits of sprue holding every bit on, isn't there?
Yeah.
So what I've been doing, I've been cutting the other bits of sprue off and just leaving one bit of sprue on the bit and then painting it. And then by the time it comes to touching it back up again, theoretically, you've only got one little bit to touch up with paint, the little bit that was holding on the sprue. And then you've only got, as I said, that tiny bit to sand off then and touch up and repaint. So generally speaking, this kit is absolutely fantastic. I do like it. So it's available. Well, you can pick it up almost anywhere. Mostly on the net. They call it EMHAR. There is a series of 4 of them. So 4 Bedford O types. There's 2 long wheelbase and 2 short wheelbase ones. There's a wrecker wagon. There's a little tipper wagon. There's a tanker. And then there's a flatbed with sides. So there's 4 in the series, and they retail between 35 and 55 quid, depending on where you go. And they're 1/24th in scale as well. So that's the chassis of this one, and this one is the short wheelbase, of course. So yeah, you can imagine the long wheelbase will be quite big. But yeah, 1/24th scale, and it does match up to the Sunstar models as well. You know, the Sunstar 1/24th scale buses in Bedford, and the wheels are actually identical, and the tires and everything. So yeah, 1/24th scale. Obviously not as good as the 1/12 scale ones. Of course, I'm a little bit biased because I do like the 1/12 scales. Okay, so I'm going to see about fitting these now, and I'm going to shut up a bit.
No, it's all right. That's how it is, though, isn't it? You sort of talk while you're working, and it.
Yeah, I suppose you get carried away in a tangent, or well, not in a tangent, but I suppose there's that much to think about whilst you're building. I'm just going to go for a test fit here, see what these look like. So these sit in little compartments to these springs, and we're working black on black parts, so obviously it's very difficult to do. So, and you've got to get them quite square. So whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to take the axle apart and just test fit that as well. So I'm just going to glance across to the chat. Okay. So come on. Oh, 1, 2. There you go. So Jay says he's just tweaking his windmill and observation tower and sorting out the electrics. And yeah, I've got quite a lot of YouTube videos to watch, so I'll have to get and watch some of these.
I thought I had a nice thin paintbrush, but I have, but it's not.
You can't find it?
No, it's not thin enough. Well, it is, but it's not. I don't know. I think it's a shake on.
You've got a bit of a shake on. Shaking all over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bit of sprue that I've gone to have to sand off here in a second. Just seeing which way around these go. So I think I'll glue it first before I start and sand it. Just making sure that it does all line up pretty much. I can see a bit of daylight through there. Aha, right, okay. So yeah, I have to take them apart and have a little look. Yep. So I think that's what we're doing, Jay. We're just tweaking these little bits a little bit just to make them fit just like a little bit better. Just a little bit of the more plastic that's in the way, I think. A little bit there. A little bit at the top there. So it's been a bit of a strange week this week, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's been rather an odd week. Several revelations have come out in the television wires, haven't they, and what have you. So yeah, it's been a bit funny. that week. I think there's always something in the news that grabs our attention or two, isn't there?
Mm.
So, right.
Well,
okay. So, yeah, once they're glued, can't see there being a problem. Okay. So, down to me now to glue it. Let's move that out of the way. Okay. So, cocktail stick. And I've got a glue pot. Okay, I'm using CA glue, and that's my preferred glue. CA medium. And so it's a super glue medium glue. And that's the one that I prefer more than anything else, is the CA medium. It seems to do a reasonable job. Some people go for the Gorilla type glues and the white glues and everything else. I suppose it's just what you're used to and just what you like, and what you can work with, and what you're used to, of course. Yeah. Come on. Okay.
Well, that's it. Because I'm not used to the. I bought some of that Tamiya extra thin.
Yeah.
And I've used it on a few occasions, and it seemed to be okay. But for this model, it wasn't working very well for me.
Yeah. And this is the stage where I usually glue my fingers to the parts, and you can't get your fingers apart, and all the rest of it. No, well, we've managed. So, yeah, and I've got it right as well, so that's okay. Just need it to set nicely. So when you go to bed at night, you can sit there filing your fingers to get the glue off your fingers.
Yeah, I do that with my teeth. I bite it. Probably not
No.
the best thing to do.
Pardon?
I sit there and bite the glue off my fingers, but it's probably not the best thing to do.
No. Well, I ain't got many teeth, so I can't do that. Not many of my own, anyway.
Right, can I have a look at the back of your engine where the fan is?
You can. Or the front.
Sorry, yeah, the front.
Or do you want to see the back of the fan?
So that's all black as well, apart from the fan blade.
Yeah, there's only the fan blade that's coloured red. The only thing is, that pipe that comes from the top there, it's silver and then goes black.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that top pipe.
Oh, yeah, the silver just at the top there.
Yeah. Okay. So, as I said, I didn't go mad with it, but yeah, the back of the fan is red as well. So, but the fan itself, but everything else behind the fan is black. Okay.
It'll be a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah. So, probably the best thing to do is paint the bulk of it black and then go in for your detail later on. Right, okay, so we've got an axle and I've got some glue on my finger end. So Don't think I've got much on there now. Yeah. That's better, otherwise I can't feel what I'm going to be picking up, can I? Right. So let's have a look at these springs. Well, let's test fit these springs, shall we? They're going to go down like that. So there's a little square on these springs that fits into the axle, and I think I might have to do a little bit of shaving on the little square that goes into the axle, because do they fit? Do they fit? Yeah, it's probably the right way. Yeah, black on black parts again, and it's quite difficult to do. Oh, my camera's moved, hasn't it? What's my camera move for? Let's go a bit further this way if I can. Okay, just a tiny bit, yeah. Better. I'll probably go out of focus now, guys. Yeah, so I reckon that's going to need just cutting out just that little bit. And we're going to have to get them square. So that one will fit perfect. So take my glasses up for this one and have a look. Yeah, I just want a little bit of filing. So somebody made this model, and somebody who I'm sub to, and they said test fit on pretty much everything, and that is a fact. I've found that there's a lot of things that has to be test fitted, otherwise they simply will not fit properly.
Yeah.
So, and I know that we're taking it a little bit off with filing a little bit off, but it does make them fit absolutely perfectly. Okay, and I'd much rather them fit perfectly than anything else.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'd much rather that be the case than it be too loose and.
Yeah. So that has worked a trait. That's that. So I'm coming to the fact now where I'll need to place this on the chassis, and this is the nerve-wracking part, because you've got to make sure that these are square and nice and right, and make sure that they're glued in properly. So do I glue the springs to the chassis first, or do I glue the axle to the springs? Conundrum. Yes, indeed. So they're just sat on there at the minute. I wonder if they'll stay on there if I turn them upside down. Maybe not. Well, they might do. It's not going to actually prove anything there, apart from I can get them into the right places. Okay. So let's have a look. Now I could glue them in place like that if they're going to stay in the right place. Does it tell you what order to do it in the instructions? Not really. Well, springs, axle, and we've actually got that wrong way around as well, so it can't go that way. So, yeah. So got the springs the right way around, got the axle the wrong way around. And I know that because of the prop shaft. So let me just try and line these up again. That goes into the back. That goes into the back. And then that goes that away. Prop shaft towards the front. Whoops. Okay. Not forgetting, of course, that I'm just test fitting at the minute. Okay. Let's get that lined up if I can. No, it's not going to line up. Okay. Fiddly. Very, very fiddly. So I'm thinking at this point, and Horlicks, I might build the springs on the axle and then put the whole lot in.
All right, yeah.
Because that is very difficult to manipulate into the correct place. And I'm thinking about drying time of the glue as well. So we've got a little grey line down there that I'll have to fill in with paint, and then the two notches that were attached to the sprue. Too far away on my camera, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, but that's the way that back axle goes, or thereabouts, but it needs to be a little bit squarer. So yeah, so maybe I'm thinking that I maybe should just give a little test fit of the springs on the axle. Just going to actually have a closer look if I can. Get my eye down there. My eye down there. That's not in properly there. Okay. Let it pop in. No, that just wants coaxing a little bit. So, yeah. Okay, so I might even be able to pull them in the right place. Oops. Come on. Push. So a little bit of dressing on there, I think. Yeah, just a little bit. A little bit there. There. So the tiniest bit. I was going for that one. Yeah. I'll see where we're going now. Yeah. So theoretically, if these little nodules are filed down enough, Horlicks, and you get them flat to the, you can't really go wrong.
Okay.
It's just a case of working out where they actually sit nicely. So that's that side. This is this side. Okay, how does that fit in there? That's a lot better fit. Just a minute little bit off there. Okay, let's try that one. What was it that side? Yep. Come on. Oh, yes. Okay. Let's try this one again. That way around. Yeah, it does need a little bit more taking out off there. It's just where the axle sits on top of the spring.
This is mad, isn't it, this little engine bit? Because every time you turn it round, there's a bit you've missed.
Well, probably best thing to do is to do part of it and then let it dry and then go back to it. That's probably what I'd do anyway. This one don't want to fit very well on here. Okay. Right then. So that's that side. That's this side. That's pointing that away. Okay. Just make sure that will go down properly. Yep. And that one again, that's okay. Whoops. Okay. Right. And actually, one's got a bigger hole than the other one, so that's maybe telling me something. Okay.
So, sorry, we've got. Let's have a quick look at some of this chat. Jay just fitted the speed controller, so you can slow the windmill down a bit more. Yeah, that's good. You could also probably use a resistor as well, if you were really on a budget.
For his windmill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want it like at a set speed, I guess you could use a resistor.
Yeah.
To limit the current.
Oh yeah, we have got a lot of chatting, haven't we? So yeah, new people in our goodness me, where's it gone? Dear. So new people in our Marvel picks. Hello, good evening to all. So yeah, hello, Todd.
Hi, Todd.
And then we've got Rise Dam Design. Hello, guys. Hello, and thanks for joining us. And if you're liking what you're seeing, please subscribe to our channels and give us a like if you don't mind. And obviously, we would subscribe back to you as well. So, Rise Dam Design, thank you very much for popping along.
Hello, welcome.
And yeah, everybody's giving him a nice welcome there in the chat. Thank you very much. Mac's working on the Titanic again, are you, Mac? Jolly good. Okay. Can't wait for another update. It's coming along really, really well, is that Titanic. It's looking awesome. It really is looking awesome. So it does stem me on to get ours done, but I can't have too many part works on the go all at the same time. So, and like it's going to be a part work that I think we was talking the other night that, you know, like me and Chris are going to do offline, so that, you know, it's more of a leisurely build rather than a have to build, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So right, let's have a bit more glue then. Let's have this one of these on at least. So yeah, I've got a leak on one of my bottles. Oh no, let's go over that side just in case. Just want to drop. I think it must have been me before. So yeah, so let's get this in then. I'm going to be a brave soul now and put this on. I am going to be brave.
I've actually got, it's so difficult. I've got a few spots of black eye pens that I'm going to do silver, but right. I'm not bothered because it'll just make it look a bit weathered, I guess, because it'll be a darker patch. And silver covers black quite well anyway.
Yeah. Oops. Come on. Maybe I should glue that part. Okay. Come on. Can't do it for shaking. I'm shaking, boss. I'm shaking.
Yeah, I'm shaking a bit. It's because I just really trying not to. I think I'm trying too hard.
Yeah, I think probably is.
Sometimes you just try too hard and then you start shaking, and then
trying to get it level as well. So okay, just hold it a few seconds.
So with this, you've just got to pretend you're playing the world's smallest violin with a brush.
Yeah. I think you do, don't you? Come on, it's not going to set in that. Come on.
Right. I think that'll be dry enough to sit that. I'm going to just sit that in there. Just so I can swirl my brush out.
It's okay for now.
Paint palette. I've been using bits of masking tape. So
yeah. Well, that's not a bad idea, really, is it? It's a pretty good idea. Let's just double check we're going the right way. We're going the right way. And then obviously that one wants to be that way. Same way as that one. Okay, so some more glue. Can't see the glue because of my light. There we are. My light shining
Stephen.
Wrong direction. Good evening, Steve Owen. Good evening, sir. So we are building some Bedfords. We are some Bedford type wrecker wagons. So, and just trying to get a few bits and pieces together on it. So hopefully that's stuck enough so I can get it somewhere near and I can get a bit more glue on it. So I'm not seeing very good tonight. I think it's the black on black parts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I want to get them sat in there, in them holders, and just see if we can wriggle it to fit. Yeah, I think we can. Just a little tiny bit. Okay. Press down on there. Okay, that looks like it might be okay. 99% there. Okay. Okay. So let me just leave that for a second or two. Let's have a look at the bits and bobs on here. Yeah, I must remember to breathe.
Yeah.
So yeah, good evening, Steve. Yeah. So yeah, we're just doing these Bedford OB models, O-type models. They're in 1/24 scale, so the same scale as the Sunstar Bedfords, and I think you might have seen them before. They're by EMHAR, and both me and Horlixs have got the identical kit, so we just decided to build a show up and make a little show of, you know, building these two models up as best we can. So I think, as I said, I think what's difficult about it more than anything else is the fact that it's black parts on black parts that you're working with, and so it makes it rather difficult to make sure that it's in the right place. So we sprayed some of the bits, and we'll spread them on the sprues, and then we've been touching up. As you can see, this axle needs a touching up, and once it's on, and the first thing that we built though was the wheels, and the wheels actually came in quite a few parts, didn't they, Horlixs?
They do. Sorry, I'm just coffee machines on. Yeah, okay. I've done my wheels as well. I've done mine slightly different.
Yeah, you've got black centres on your wheels, whereas I've just gone for the plain red.
And then,
Horlixs is just painting the engine. I painted the engine a couple of weeks back, and I've just mirrored this engine off a Sunstar. I nearly said Routemaster there. Sunstar Bedford.
You'll start off in.
I know, a Sunstar Bedford, and when I opened the bonnet on the Sunstar Bedford, it just had a red rocker cover, and the main part of the bulk of the engine was black. The exhaust manifold and such like was silver, and so I just mirrored what was in there really. And as I was saying before, I don't think the bonnets on these are not made to come off, but I have seen somebody make one where they've made a bonnet in the sides and you just lift it off, so that then you can see inside the engine. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this model, is make it so I can just lift the bonnet off the model, and then I can see inside the engine bay once we get that done. Horlicks has made great strides. He's made some fantastic mods already. He's put headlights in.
Yeah,
he's made absolutely great strides with that. And of course, the grille, it does look lifelike with the radiator and everything. So, and then
this is the grille.
There's the wings as well. So yeah, Horlicks wings now. Sorry, the grille.
So I've cut a little bit out, put some electronics in. As you can see, there's some really tiny wires just behind the headlight there. The same sort of LEDs that we used for the Routemaster indicators.
Yeah, they were the small ones, weren't they?
There you go. And then that's my result.
Mm.
So it's going to be powered off just the USB. And I'll probably do the rear lights as well. I might go to the extent of, because it's a recovery truck, I might even try and make the crane motorized. But until we've built it up and I've seen what's what, I can't really decide on that yet.
Yeah. So I think Mark was saying about the light bleed on the Titanic. Yeah, Mark's done a mod on the Titanic to stop the light bleed, and then dull the lights down a little bit, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, pop along to Mark's mods to have a look at that. Steve Owen says it's just modified more Code 3 buses, a few photos to show on the next Wednesday show. It's great seeing two models, but will be different. Yeah, they'll definitely be different. Hope you do more in the future. Good content. Yeah, thank you for that, Steve. Oh, yeah, well, I've actually got all four of these kits because there's four of them. I got two given as presents, and then I bought two. And
you never know. I might end up buying another one.
So there's the other three models that's available. There's a brown railways long wheelbase pickup, and then there's a short wheelbase tipper, and then there's the tanker, the Dominion tanker. So, and I'm gonna, if I can at some point, I'm gonna buy, not now because obviously I'm short of money, but I'm gonna save up some money and buy another one of them, and I'm actually gonna scratch build it into an OWB in 1/24 scale, because as far as I'm aware, there isn't a Bedford OWB in 1/24 scale anywhere. So, and I used to own a Bedford OWB many years ago. So theoretically, if I was just to use the wings, the bonnet, and the scuttle, and the chassis, of course, then I can make a Bedford OWB out of the rest with plasticard and such like. So what you've been doing, I'm going to be doing hopefully in 1/24 scale which is obviously much bigger, to make a Bedford OWB. And then I've got a couple of Sunstar Bedfords, so then that'll make, you know, 6 or 7 of them that I'll make a little diorama out of. So yeah, looking forward to it. I've actually seen one of these Dominion tankers being done on YouTube by a guy in America, and he's actually weathered it, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I can't actually remember what to call his channel now, but if you typed into YouTube EMHAR Bedford, that's EMHAR, EMHAR Bedford, O-type or OSB or something like that, or O series, you'll come up with a few. There's a few people on YouTube that's done these. I think this guy in America did one about 4 years ago, and he weathered it and everything. Didn't paint it blue, painted it green, but it looks absolutely superb. So, and that's giving me the inspiration as well to carry on. So, yeah, there's not enough hours in the day for us to do things like this on a, you know, life gets in the way, doesn't it? But really would like to do a Bedford OWB if I could. This is obviously the short wheelbase one as well, so gives you some idea of, if I just put my hand over it like that, it gives you some idea of what size it is. And it's maybe, what, 7 inches long, that, so 7 or 8 inches long. So the long wheelbase one is about 9-10 inches long, perhaps. So maybe a little bit more. I suppose with an OWB body, it would be just that little bit bigger. So Sivo says we need a flashing light on the cab. Yeah.
Yeah, I've already thought about that as well.
Yeah, we certainly have. This model has a flashing light on the jib crane on the box, but you can put that anywhere you want, I suppose. So it doesn't actually show you very good on there, but I think it's on the back there. Look, you can see that there is it's just on the jib on the back of the body is the yellow flashing light, but there's plenty of room on top of the cab for it to go.
I think there is actually oh no, it's not. I'm thinking of the wiper.
Yeah.
Thought there was a hole, but it'd be easy enough to drill a little hole and.
Oh yeah, easy enough to do that without a shadow of a doubt.
Sorry, Dave. Can I have a look at your engine?
Yeah, you're all right. Yeah. Which do you want to look at?
The yeah, that side. Okay.
So we've done the 2 manifolds, the inlet and the outlet manifold in silver, and then just the air cleaner in black. And yeah, and then the silver comes right down to the exhaust pipe off the exhaust manifold. So all right, let's see if this axle is stuck now. So, and then I could probably get it in the right position. Have a look, see if I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm actually not happy with it, so I've actually moved it slightly. So was I talking when I moved it or what? I don't know. Let's see if it'll go back in the right place. Black on black parts, they're marvellous. Well, they're not really. They are difficult to do, black on black parts. So I'll get down there, and that gets down there. I think it will sit nicely once it's in. If I just turn her over, I can get to look and see what it's like on the side there. Yeah, so happy with that one, but not happy with that one. So what I'm going to do there is I am going to take that off for the time being. And I'm going to, because there's only a tiny bit of glue that's holding the springs on, so I can stop shaking. I can do something about it. I think what I'll do first is I'll just titivate them bits up that need the bit of black on first, and let them dry, and then I'll glue that in. What else can I do? I can do the exhaust. Can I? Yes, I can. Wait, I found it. There's the exhaust. I can paint the exhaust silver, and I can, on that sprue, I can paint the prop shaft. So put that off there. Oh, that's an hydraulic ram. Another good thing about this kit as well is that you do get lots of spares. So you get lots of body sides and things, so which you actually don't use in this kit, because this kit comes with a body that's built pretty much of its own on a card, which is there. So you get a Charolais body built already. So you get lots of spares that are used in the other models. And so the good thing about that is that it's, when I'm scratch building the OWB, when I get round to it, I'll have lots of some plastic to practice on, and there'll be lots of bits that I can use on there as well for scratch building. So enough ranting and raving, Dave. Just get on with it and build.
Well, I'm just trying to get. In.
Yeah, I'm going to stitch them bits up with some black first. So I'll get that out of the way.
No.
So this is Tamiya black I'm using, and I usually use a spray can, but for this method, for this round, I'm actually using the Tamiya X1, the black, the gloss black X1, and it matches up to the Tamiya black spray TS14. So that's what it matches up to. And that's pretty much what the instructions tell us to do the black parts in. Of course, you can paint this chassis any colour you want. And the guy I was talking about who's built the tanker on YouTube, he's actually painted it rusty brown first, so like a dull matte rusty brown. So painted all his chassis dull matte rusty brown, and then he sprayed it with some green paint. But before he did that, he actually stuck some salt to the chassis by just putting a bit of water on the chassis there and everywhere, sticking some salt to it, and then he painted it with the green. And then what he's done, he's gone along every so often and he started scratching bits off of the chassis here, there and everywhere where this salt was, trying to scratch the salt off. And what it's done, it's left the rusty brown colour underneath, which makes it look as though the chassis is actually rusted, so in various places. And he's done that right throughout the whole model, and you know, it looks absolutely super real. It really does.
I suppose you've got to be careful with that, haven't you? Because like salt's soluble, isn't it? So would it not just?
Well, it won't harm plastic, will it?
No, but I mean, you put the salt on, like put the water on, and then put the salt on to give it the effect. But doesn't the salt dissolve before it? I suppose it doesn't.
Well, I suppose it does in a little sense, yeah. But what he said was when it dried in clumps and it stuck to the chassis. So all you have to do is really scrape that off very, very gently, either with a rough painting brush, a dry painting brush, or he had a little brass brush, a tiny, very tiny brass brush, and he was going along and scratching the paint off. And I tell you what, it was making such a fantastic thing. I am going to try it. But I don't know what to try it on. That's the problem, because I want these models to be reasonable. I don't want them to have rust on and what have you. So I am going to try it on something or other. Oh, let's go for, no, that's too big. I'll go for that one. So what did I see in the chat? I saw Anfield Road layout in the loft. That's Lee. Building models and making things from scratch takes time, not time in the day to do builds. Yeah. Well, I suppose it's whatever you fancy doing. Scratch building is an art without a shadow of a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely an art. And some people don't like scratch building at all, and other people's love scratch building. So it's just a case of personal preference, really. If you like scratch building, then go ahead and scratch build it. If you've got the time and the patience and everything. If not, I'm pretty sure you could probably buy the model off the shelf and weather it, perhaps, which would cut down on scratch building. Weathering the model would be pretty good. And if you just want a pristine model, then just show the model as in pristine. It all depends on your personal preference of what you actually like, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just seeing if there's any more. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit more on these sides. Okay, that's okay. So it doesn't take long to dry, don't this black paint. And obviously if we can just fill in the bits that's showing the grey through the primer, it's going to make it look a lot better. I'd love to be able to weather to a professional standard, and I think the only way you can actually do stuff like that is to actually get on and do something in it and practice. Practice makes perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So everybody tells us. It certainly does. And as I say, it all depends on whether your personal preference, whether you want a pristine, absolutely fantastic, brand spanking new out the factory model, or you want something that looks as though it's been used, or you want the satisfaction of actually building something from scratch. Some of you actually know that I tried building a 1/12 scale Leyland Lion 1927 Leyland Lion bus from scratch. I've got so much of it done, but by heck, is it a challenge? It's a massive, massive challenge. It really, really is. Even though it's 1/12 scale, and yeah, I've still got a long way to go on it yet. But I was promising that I was going to finish it off one day, but part wax and plastic models got in the way. I discovered part wax and I discovered plastic models, so I haven't finished it off yet. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry now. And all being well, I can get it stuck to the chassis. So right, let's finish off these black bits.
Same here, I've just got another bit coat on there, just letting that dry off a bit.
Okay. I've just got the prop shaft to do here and the what have you in black. Well, I've got them brackets to do in black as well, so I've got them to do. Might as well.
I've got to do the gearbox housing, but obviously that's my handle at the moment. So
Yeah.
probably it's only going to be black. So I will do that when the rest of the engine's dried, because otherwise I'll lose my handle.
Yeah. Because it's quite I put a cocktail stick in the end there, but it's quite difficult, especially if you had a bit of shake on or something. You can't really get to all the detail of it, you know.
No.
I suppose I made it hard for myself really doing it that way, but
and that paint is a bit too thin. The thing is, I'm finding it really difficult to get the right consistency of the paint.
It is difficult, isn't it? It is. I think a lot goes on the mixture as well, how the mixture is sometimes.
Yeah, because you can't mix up too much because it dries before you've got it on the paint and you end up with lumps.
Yeah.
So you have to keep doing it. And
yeah, I think I've got that now. So that's that. What else was it I was going to paint? I can't remember. Let's have a look on here. Oh yeah, them little brackets.
I'm just going to go and refresh my water because it's been
okay.
black.
Okay, I'm going to try and get this tape off. So I might need my scissors actually. Masking tape stuck to masking tape. It sticks like the proverbial to a blanket, doesn't it? There's masking tape to masking tape. Stick masking tape to something else and it falls off. But masking tape to masking tape, it's horrendous. Let's pull that one off as well. Let's take that one off. We can see what we're looking at then. So Horlixs had a brilliant idea actually, and I've actually copied his idea, and that was he's cut the sprue or cut the bits off the sprues, and he's left a bit of sprue on. Now I'm holding a bit of sprue there on this wing, and rather than have the piece on the whole sprue, why not cut a bit of sprue off and twizzle it round with your tweezers or whatever you're holding it with, your pliers and that, so you can spray it properly, rather than using the whole sprue like this. So just for these little bits, I just did it my old way, but I will be doing it the new way that Horlixs has shown me with cutting the bit of sprue off, which is brilliant. It's really good that we can learn from each other with just little tips like that. It's excellent.
Yeah, I did that with the these little panels.
Yeah.
You can see there's a dot in the middle of that one as well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you can really see, but
yeah,
dot. So that's going to need light sanding and redoing.
Yeah.
I've left it on there. And then what I use, my favourite, so a lot of people can't get on with them, but reverse tweezers.
Yes.
And then I just clamp it in there and it's held.
Yeah. Now I tried them with some Route Master parts that I was spraying, and I just could not get on with them at all. And it was the fact that the Route Master parts were a little bit heavy, so like, you know, and
yeah,
they wouldn't hold them, so which is understandable, like. But
the only other thing you could do is what I've done. You could, well, for the tweezers, for example, I've actually put some heat shrink on there, just to get more grit.
Yeah.
But you could use some long nose pliers, which I've used for put some heat shrink on the fins if you've got a spare set of these for donating.
Yeah.
And then you can hold it with that.
That's a good idea. Brilliant idea.
But obviously, for detail, like metal parts especially, you would have to put some heat shrink or something on there just to give it a rubber.
Yes.
surface so you don't damage anything.
Yeah, I understand. Right, okay, so I think I've touched them bits up. Let's have a look at the rest of this chassis. See if I can see any more bits that want touching up. Well, I've got the blackout. I think it's looking good, actually. I think it's pretty good. I think I've touched up the other bits last time. So the front axle looks brilliant. And the springs.
Beautiful.
And so there's a bit there that needs doing.
Yeah, I'm actually going to transfer because I like the Tamiya pots.
Yeah.
It's really good paint. So this is actually Rootmaster Red.
Yeah.
Wheels in. It's not the correct colour, but it's the colour I had, and I didn't want to spend more money.
Yeah.
When this would have been fine. So, but I think I'm going to go to the Tamiya colour range for these. I like these. I was using the Humbrol.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, a lot of the colours on this kit are in Humbrol, but
yeah,
I think because I'm quite new to this painting, I'm liking this better because you can paint straight out the tin.
Yeah, more or less. If you give it a good staring, I mean,
good shake, good stir. I've taken your trick with the coffee stirrers.
Coffee stirrers, yeah.
Give it a good old stir, and it goes on beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean, I just look at the wheels; they went on lovely.
Exactly. Yeah.
These you have to see. You have to water these down a little bit because this comes on too thick otherwise.
Yeah, that's true. I did notice a little bit on there that I caught. Look at that, just got enough on my brush to cover it up. Excellent.
Oh, Stephen Owen, I'm not sure you read that. I've been asked to weather some buses and I'm holding back. Over Christmas, I got a Revel weathering kit, which is 6 pots of paint and instructions on how each paint does what effect. So yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah, it certainly does sound interesting.
I'm building out. Oh yeah, so Lee says he does a lot of scratch build for his layout. I'm building out matchsticks at the minute for tomorrow's live stream.
Oh, right.
David Bassett says we're both doing a grand job.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm repeating anything, but
no, you're all right. You're perfectly all right. I was just going to say I've got something I can put some water in, I think.
So I'm just waiting for this to dry. I'm just looking in the light.
Yeah.
And it's nearly there.
Right.
I can see a few wet patches, but I'm going to just give that another few minutes and then I'm going to give the black another coat.
Yeah. I think this is another good thing about the Tamiya paints as well, is that you don't need any specifics like, white spirits or anything. So you can just use the good old water, can't you, sometimes? So
yeah, apart from the spray can that I learned. I got spraying the black and ended up with some overspray. And I actually, while it was wet on the arch, I used a paintbrush to do something with it. And then I realised I couldn't get it off the brush. So I had to go on in the kitchen, boiling water, soap, and luckily the paint dried and sort of fell off the brush rather than wash off. But
yeah. So I use white spirit, just common old garden white spirit, and I just actually use the sink, and I put just a couple of drops in the sink, and then get the rest of the paint off in around the sinkhole, just a tiny drop. That's all you need, and then use some washing up liquid and wash that out that way, and then flush it all down with some hot soapy water, and job's a good one. So
yeah, I need to get some of that really.
So your white spirit is not bad. You can get it from pretty much anywhere, can't you? So, pardon me, excuse me. So what I'm going to do now is going to have got some silver and see if I can silver this exhaust up. And while it's in the sprue, because it's only just hanging in the sprue at the minute. So give me silver a good shake, and then I've got to find something to open the tin as well. So,
still not quite there. I need to give that a little bit longer, but I've got touching up to do underneath the thing. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I'd like to hand paint, but you just don't get the same effect, do you, as a rattle can? And
no.
From the Mini I did, my Mini Cooper, that was the very first kit I did. Now, yes, right, it was a starter set, but
yeah,
I tried to paint the yellow on, and it was awful.
Yeah.
I put about 5 coats on, and it just was not giving it any body to the paint. So I cracked out. I bought the same. Luckily, they made the same color in a rattle can. Humble.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful! Sprayed it, and it was completely different. So, half of me is like, oh, it'd be nice to hand paint some of it, but I suppose if you get the right consistency, it will self-level itself. But
yeah, it's getting the right consistency, I think. Yeah, more than anything else.
And then another thing I need to think about, and I was going to ask you, Dave, about that. Once you've done the cab and you're happy with it, and the body at the back and everything,
yeah,
are you going to give it clear coats?
Maybe, but I have actually got some Humbrol clear coat, but I'm not going to be using that. If I use clear coat, I'll use the Tamiya clear coat, because Tamiya paint, try and keep the Tamiya paint pretty much profile all the way through, apart from the silver, of course, because I've got Humbrol silver. But just to give it a quick clear coat over the top, I may well do, yes.
Have you got a rattle can top coat, clear coat, or are you going to brush it on?
Well, I've got this is the only one I've got at the minute, which is acrylic varnish.
Right.
Some people would just say go ahead and use it, but I don't want to do that. And the fact is that if you put this across your windows, you're going to have some dull windows. Now, I learnt that on the transit that I did for the windmill. I just went ahead and I didn't even think about it. I just spread the whole lot with some, and it wasn't. In fact, it was this one. It was the matte varnish, because I wanted a matte finish. I didn't want a glossy finish on the one on the windmill, the transit on the windmill. Yeah. So I just went ahead and sprayed the whole lot. As soon as I did it, I went, no, my windows. And of course, it reacted with the windows. But in actual fact, on that diorama bit, it actually looks like there are misted up windows from a misty morning. So it doesn't matter for that one. But I learned. Straight away.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I used, for the Mini, I used the Humbrol clear gloss varnish.
Yeah.
And I actually dipped all my plastics windows in this. I just dunked it in and pulled it out and let it, and it made it look like real glass. But obviously, it's different. I guess there's, the rattle can, you've got a lot more stuff in it.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the problem. I think is the fact that it's it's got chemicals in it that reacted with the plastic. So it didn't react with the plastic of the van itself, the model. It was just the windows and just the clear acrylic windows, and it just made them look a bit frosty, a bit misty. So. But of course, instantly I learned not to do that again, and I haven't actually done that with the Route Masters. So I haven't given them a clear coat; they're just as they are. And what I've done with the Route Masters is, because they're bigger and there's there's plenty of scope to polish them, is that I've actually polished them with some very high quality polish, so that they just need a rub over with a very light dusting cloth, one of them spectacle cleaners which I showed you. It just needs a quick rub over with one of them, and they're back to nice and polished again. So as long as you don't leave them out in any dust or anything, or any rain or anything like that, of course. So, and I didn't want to spray them with anything, just in case it did actually go wrong. But that transit van that I did, I think that was 1/24 scale. Yeah, it was. The transit van I did, it didn't really matter that it looked a bit rough and ready, and that's because I wanted it to look rough and ready, being a bodger coming to bodge the windmill, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's got that done. Can I think of anything else that wants painting silver? Not exhaust wise, no. So I can't think of anything right now. Let's put that on there. Is there anything that needs touching up on there, silver wise? I don't know. Let's have a look. A tiny, weeny little bit. See how steady my hand is now. Okay, don't risk it. Don't risk it for a biscuit. Yeah, I'm not prepared to do anything else. I don't think on there. I think that'll do. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, just a wee bit more. That's it. Don't touch it now. Yeah, that's fine. So let's touch that up as well. Okay, anything else on silver? Don't think so. Unless I do the inside of the headlight silver. Could do. Yeah, I think I'll do them.
Yeah.
Inside of them silver. Okay, it won't just take a second to do. There's one. Something heavy outside. Actually, don't know whether it's the wind that's playing tricks on me. So I think I told you that somebody tried to pinch our trailer, while we was in on the outside. So we actually got a camera, and we've got two now, 2 cameras. So if they want to come back and try again, they're quite welcome, because we'll have the cameras on. So
Yeah. Plus you've got
plus we've got a dog.
Yeah, you got the dog. You got the wheels. You're taking the wheels off, haven't you?
Yeah, I've taken them. Yeah, I've stripped it right down. So if they want to come back and try again, they're quite welcome. But they're going to be taking the shed with them, 20-foot shed with them. Right. So I don't think there's anything else I can paint on there. No, it's got that done. That's not done. Right. Yeah. So. Yep. So I can get rid of my silver paintbrush now, but that's going to have to go into a different tube. That's because this is Humbrol and it's obviously a spirit paint. So slap back on. Sure that's nice and sealed. Okay, move that one for that one and put that into the spirit paint there. Yeah, there we are. And that will do, I think. So I didn't get as far as what I could have done. But then again, Rome isn't built in a day, is it?
No.
So I can do a little bit more, I suppose, if I think about it carefully.
I was going to say, I'm just painting I'm doing the next coat of my engine, so I'm going to be a little bit longer.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I've got a couple more bits to try and sort out where I'm going to go from there. So let's just move these bits and then I can get to the instructions. Get to the destructions. Try and pick it up by something that's not painted. There we go. So, yeah, I need them cutting out the sprue once they're dry. And I don't think I can do that yet. No, not quite. So, and I've got that done. I've got the bits done for the prop shaft, apart from B55. It's going to send me on a mystery tour now to find B55. There it is. That was a stroke of luck, wasn't it? Found it straight away, and it's painted, so that's okay. B55, know where that one is now then. So there's 3 bits to the top shaft. There's one bit there on the long bit, and then the dumpy bit there. So so they're all painted. The joint there's painted. The axle and springs there together waiting to dry. The axles together, yeah. So I've got to get the battery box out and stick that to the running board. Sorry, the battery, and the running board brackets have got to go into the chassis. But I did paint them earlier and they're not dry yet, so they're not far off. So I might be able to take them out the frame within the next 10 minutes or so. Oh, let's have a look at the chat.
Oh, I've got flaming hair.
You've got a hair? Sure it's a hare and not a rabbit?
I need to cut it off.
So Steve Owen says with scratch building, you just go for it and learn along the way. So just done an EFE lower half with the back end of an EFE DMS, then used roof top deck to make a single decker. Wow. So that's rather impressive. I mean, yeah. I've got an idea of the shape, size, length, height of the Bedford OWB, and I've got plenty of pictures because obviously I can just relate back to the Bedford OB and OWB Facebook group which I started. So there's plenty of pictures on there. So and as you'll see, just go for it. And if I've got the plastic card and I've got the windows and everything, I think the worst thing to do would be the seats probably, because there were actually wooden seats, and they were shaped especially for your bum and everything to sit on and your legs, and they were actually quite comfortable, apart from when they started to get rough and ready, and then you took your life in your hands or your bum in your hands in case you got spells in your bum, because there were actually wooden slatted seats. So but yeah, that'll probably be the hardest bit to build on that build, because it's pretty much angular is the Bedford OWB, isn't it? There's no really round corners apart from the back round corners, lower half I think, because the back around the window was angular as well, wasn't it, around a Bedford OWB. So I'm looking forward to it, but I need to obviously crack on and get some of these models out of the way and some of them built first. The Blue Route Master, going to be making a show about that tomorrow night, so that's Sunday night. So it'll either be the Blue Root Master or the Open Top Root Master, depending on how much I can do. I'm restricted by paint at the minute. I tried painting today, and there was absolutely no way on this earth that spray painting was having any of it today. And yeah, you can tell that if it's going to be a good day for spraying, you can tell. And today was not a good day for spraying. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer till the weather picks up a bit to get some spraying done. I could maybe get the undercoats done of pretty much all the framework for the Blue Root Master. So I could probably get the frameworks done and dusted, but the panel work, definitely not. That'll have to wait until a little bit later in the year. I was hoping to get it done by the end of March, beginning middle of April. So I'm hoping that I can get it done for that time scale. I did give myself a little bit of leeway because I wanted to take it to a show in May. So yeah, I've given myself a little bit of leeway by a month or so, and hopefully I'll have it all finished by the end of April at the latest. But I said I've got, give myself another month on top of that because of the weather. So there's been some chat. So Gillian says good show and good work, big thumbs up. Thank you, Gillian. And so David Bassett says lots of Sutton dirt on your Leyland Nationals then, Stephen, knowing. Yeah. So David Bassett says, great stream, guys. It's lovely to see you both having a go at building these Bedford OSB models. Thumbs up and to both of you. Thank you very much, David, for that. Very much appreciated. And Anfield Road layout in the loft. Lee says, looks good. Good builds. Thank you very much indeed, Lee. So, yeah, we are getting there. But, yeah, Rome, as I said, Rome wasn't built in a day. And, if you can take it nice and steady during your build and enjoy it, more than anything else, enjoy the build. It's a bit like we're coming across problems that we're having to solve all the time, isn't it? Like problem solving, which is really good. So, see that? Oh yeah, they're dry now. They're good enough to touch. So I'm going to cut out a couple of them. A1 and A2. So I just look on my sprue now for A1 and A2. A1 and A2. Okay. So let's get them out. Grunted. I didn't organise any supper tonight, which I'm a bit. I don't know what we're going to have for supper tonight. So we had some. What was it? We had last night. It was. Oh yeah, it was. It was cheesecake, wasn't it? Strawberry cheesecake. One of them. Only one of them cheap ones from Iceland, but oh goodness me, it was good. Strawberry cheesecake. Yeah, they're drying off all the time on them. I don't want to put my fingerprints in them. So let's have a look at the other bits that we need. We need the battery and the one that the battery sits on. So the one that the battery sits on is that one. Oops. FX Club. Yeah, it's all right. All right, I'm having notifications come up. It's okay. Don't want my computer shutting down. There we go. So there's the battery and what it goes on to. So on here, I got the paint quite a bit thick on this flat bit, and not on this flat bit. Actually, has a rubber mat on it that says Bedford. I don't know whether my Yeah, I suppose my camera might pick it up, or the light might pick it up shining there. I don't know whether you can see that it actually says Bedford, but yeah, on the mat there, you maybe can. You maybe can't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's very difficult to pick out. So that's on the running board side, and then we've got the battery, which needs a little bit of filing. So I'm gonna have to go back to my black paint again shortly when I get this in. But yeah, it only had one. Only did this one on. I don't know. Let's have a look. Shave off the little nodules. I mean, we're by no means professional or anything like that. We don't profess to be any professional on anything, because it's, you know, it's one of them things. It's a hobby, and if you enjoy it and get a lot out of it, that's the main.
Yeah, I think, I mean, to be fair, this is really my first serious model.
Well, I think I'm only 3 or 4 behind you, because I built them 135 scale ones for the Lancaster diorama that I'm going to use eventually. So I'm only like 3 models behind you, really, and so I'm by no means a professional or any kind of specialist in any subject, because a day without learning is a day without learning. There's always something new to learn about any hobby, really, or anything. Be prepared to learn about something, I suppose. And I think that's the good part about it, is that there's always something new. You know, somebody might say, "Oh, do it this way, do it that way," and that might have a better idea than yourself. And I mean, I know for a certainty that I'm not probably doing it the right way, but I'm getting fairly good results, so I'm quite happy. And if I wasn't getting good results and I wasn't happy, then I wouldn't be doing it. So, and as I say, at the end of the day, it's meant to be fun more than anything else. It's no competition. It's just a fun build and a pastime, and something that you can get really involved with as little or as much as you want, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can, you can be just spending a few quid like these there, or less, or spending thousands of pounds on a model, I should think. Personal preference again as to what and I'm going to use the phrase "what blows your frock up," and I use that very loosely, and that's because it was told to me by a good friend of mine called Brian. He was a Lancaster flight engineer, and he didn't mince his words. And he used to have this phrase, and he said, "That's all right. Whatever blows your frock up," he used to say, "Dave. So whatever you like doing, whatever's your cup of tea." But of course, he used to put a bit of fun into it and say, "Whatever blows your frock up."
Yeah, I've not heard that before.
Oh yes, it was quite a common thing amongst the Air Force, apparently, during World War II. So a lot of his mates used to say similar things, and that was one of the phrases that one of his mates his mates used to say. From RAF Binbrook, no doubt. So I can imagine them coming back from a raid saying, "Well, I'm going to have a pint when I get back home." And the other one saying, well, I'm going to have a whiskey. And you can imagine my mate Brian saying, well, whatever blows your frock up, lads, you've done a good job. And yeah, so it's a phrase that I've not adopted, but I suppose learn to live with and laugh about. So that's the sort of parts that I like, parts that sit in there nicely like that, and 2 parts that I've just failed to fit. So I can glue them from the back side, so the glue isn't shown. Want to make sure that they're in right place. So, and the battery box goes in here. Should I say the step? And the battery box goes in there, and the battery goes on there, like that. So I'm just going to get these steps in right, and then I'll probably glue them in, I think. Yeah. And then there'll be another little bit of black paint that we'll have to touch up as well, won't there?
Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm really enjoying myself here, and I hope you're enjoying the show.
Yeah, let's hope you're enjoying it, guys, and I'm enjoying it too. Yeah, it's a bit difficult knowing what to say and keep the conversation going, but that's okay. We don't have to rabble on about anything that's specific, I don't suppose. Just gonna modify my there we go. Modify my glow stick. So I need to get in there. Right. So glue them in. There we go. More on that one.
I'm not too bothered about. I quite like the brush effect, on here.
Yeah.
Because an engine of that age,
yeah,
would have been hand painted.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, pretty much all this body and chassis would have been hand painted. There wasn't much in the way of spray around in them days. So, and you're talking either wartime or just after the war, so things would have been in short supply. And most definitely. So we've got Lindsay's Builds joined us. So Lindsay's Builds, hi Lindsay, thanks for joining us. Sorry I've missed your live feed, but was doing my own live feed in my Facebook page. Right, okay, well, we'd like to obviously see that as well. So if we can find your Facebook page, that'd be great. Yeah, obviously we're building the Bedford, the one that you've built in Yorkshire as well. So this is the wrecker wagon. Oh, something's just ended on. This is the wrecker wagon one. So the EMHAR 124 scale wrecker wagon. So both me and Horlixs are building it together. So we've both got a kit each. And I'm Dave, and I've been I think I've been talking to you on my YouTube about the build, test fitting things and what have you, and you know, going ahead and before you actually glue it all up. So yeah, thanks for joining us. And yeah, we're part of the Northern Model Builders, and so I'm in East Yorkshire, and Horlixs is in the Hastings area.
Sunny Eastbourne.
Sunny Eastbourne even, yeah, sunny Eastbourne. And yeah, we've been looking at other YouTubers that's building this fantastic model, including yourself. And yeah, I think I've subscribed to your channel, Lindsay. And yeah, got some fantastic content on there. We're doing all sorts, as you see from my channel. I'm doing part wax. So I've done the Route Master bus in part wax, and I've painted. Well, I'm on with painting the third one. So, but I've got another one that I'm building into an open topper. I've got two that I've painted into different liveries, and we've got others that we've just built the standard model with. We're doing the Hachette build in 1/12 scale, the Eddie Stobbart lorry, and we're going to be doing the Titanic from Hachette as well. My wife's doing the Disney Dolls house from Hachette, and she's also built one of the Route Masters. And I've built in the past, I've built some military models in 135 and 132 scale, because I'm going to be building the HK Lancaster in 132, or is it 135? I've forgotten. I think it's 132, the HK Lanc. So I'm going to be building a diorama into a coffee table, which is going to be 1 meter square, and the diorama will be in the coffee table, and eventually I'll have all the vehicles that I've built and the crew and everything, and in the coffee table. But it's going to take me a long time to do, so that's a long project. This project is going to be a similar project. We've got all 4 of these. I've got all 4 of these Bedfords, and I think you might have heard me talking about the Bedford OWB. I want to scratch build a Bedford OWB as well, and there's other models as well that we've built besides that, so, and that we've got to build in the future. We're part of the Northern Model Builders and Crafters, so search them out on YouTube as well, and you'll find other things that we're obviously building. So in our community, we've got builders that's building Hurricanes and Spitfires and diamond painting and sewing and knitting, and all sorts of crafts and models are being built within our community. So yeah, and we like to think we're a friendly bunch, and we like to. I think the guys here in the chat will vouch for that, and so yeah, welcome, and let's hope that you enjoy what you see. We started this at, was it 7 o'clock, Horlixs?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just looking for Lindsay's builds. Are you the one? You've done the Ark Royal aircraft carrier. Is that the one?
I do believe so, yes. But let him answer that one in the chat.
The West Virginia slideshow. Oh yeah, I see.
Okay.
Bedford Tanker, 1/24 scale.
That's right. Yes, the Bedford Tanker. Yeah.
Okay. So, just share the love.
Yeah, share the love indeed. Yeah. So we've got Crafty Chris in the chat there. That's my wife, and she's subscribed to your channel, Lindsay, as Crafty Chris. So and that's great. So
I've
yeah,
just put a link in the chat to
Lindsay's builds. Yeah. And by all means, everybody in the chat here, I mean, I think there's 13 watching so far. So as Horlixs says there, share the love and subscribe away.
So I don't know whether you saw Lindsay's builds when earlier. I've done quite a bit to this, and I like modding, I like electronics. So the front end of this, I'll show you again, just in case.
I was going to say, let's go full screen, Horlixs. I'll just put you full screen. There you go.
I've built the front end, but I've incorporated some electronics in it, and hidden it all within there. So now I've got some lights that work.
Look at that. Fantastic. I love it. I really do.
Just to give it a bit more
of
a wow factor when it's built. And I'm going to do the back as well, the brake lights and stuff. And that's just going to be powered off USB eventually.
Yeah. And that'll be superb. How come I can't get rid of it? Come on. Oh, my mouse is sticking again. That's it. There we go. So, Get my mouse over there. So Max Mod says he's just sub-tiered too as well, Lindsay, and he's part of the community, so that's great. And Anfield Road Layout in the Loft, Lee, he's just subscribed to you. Marvel Pick says it looks great, Alex. So that's it. Certainly does. So why are we building this? Well, the Bedford lorries or Bedford buses are special to me. My dad had 2 Bedford OB coaches when I was very young. I had a Bedford OWB, which I saved from scrap, but it was too far gone to do anything with. I saved a Bedford Seafront Service toast rack bus from scrap, which I sent on to somebody else. And yeah, Bedford OB coaches, especially the dual-bodied ones, they're absolutely beautiful coaches to both ride in, look at, listen to. They are superb. So yeah, I actually run a Facebook group called Bedford OB and OWB group. So that's a Facebook group that I run, and it's got about 1,600 people plus, I think, something like that. So, but they're masses and masses of pictures of Bedford OBs and OWBs, but of course mostly passenger carrying transport and not wagons like this. So yeah, you'd be quite welcome to join that as well. And as I say, you'll find us on the Northern Model Builders. So if you want to join the Northern Model Builders, which I think might...
the link's in the description.
The link's in the description, yeah, sorry. So, yeah, in the description of this video, which is down below the video, of course. I think it's the bottom right-hand corner. There's an upturned tick that you press on there, and then that brings up the description of the video. So the links are in there to all our channels and the Northern Model Builders channel as well. So, yeah, it's brilliant that you come along. And I was, I think before you came along, I was telling Horlixs, Alex, about the one that the guy did in America, where he salted the chassis and everything, and he scraped all the salt off the chassis and made it into a weathered tanker. That was absolutely superb. You know, if I could make something like that at some point, that would be brilliant. It really would. So, enough yakking, Dave. Carry on. So, Yorkshire Crafters just subscribed to you, Lindsay, as well. And Stephen Owen has just subscribed to you. So, thank you, everybody. And so has Mark's Mods. Yeah. So, thank you, everybody, for sharing the love of the community. That's brilliant. What goes around comes around. So, we can all share in our passion of building hobbies and building models, and the passion of the hobby. And at the end of the day, brush all your strains and stresses away by building a model. So, and listen at me, I'm getting all poetic.
So this is where I've got to so far. I've got the back done on most of the engine.
Yeah.
In there. That was really quite difficult to get all them bits in there. So
brilliant.
I'm happy with that.
Brilliant. So yeah.
I've got a bit of a paint splash on the pipe there, but that'll be all right. Sort of towards the inside anyway, but silver covers black quite well, I think.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So yeah, that's as far as I've got at the minute. Obviously, I'll do the rest of this when I'm not holding it, but I'll just need to wait for that to dry. Depending on what you're doing, Dave, I might paint the rocker cover red, but if you're pretty much done, then I might do that next time.
No, I think I'll
because this has got to dry for a few minutes first anyway.
Okay.
Get on.
Well, I've got the battery to put on and the step, so I think I'm going to do that. And then I've got pretty much it all done, apart from the prop shaft, I believe, which I think is still drying. So the prop shaft's still drying there. So
I think what I might do actually is just have a bit of an experiment here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to paint as I've got some black paint out, I'm just going to experiment with these springs, and I'm not going to prepare them at all. I'm just going to paint them.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens. It's not the best idea, not recommended, but I just want to see. Oh.
Let's see where the running board was.
Actually.
All right. Lindsay's build says it's release agent from the mold. Your parts should have been washed with washing up liquid. Use wet and dry with water and go back to the plastic. Yeah, that's what we've been doing. Except Alex had a really bad problem with obviously the release agent that hasn't been coming off the parts. So, but yeah, we've been doing that with most of the parts that we've been using, and yeah, I've realised that with quite a few of the models, the release agent that's on it, or the oil on the surface, is quite difficult to get off some of the bits, and of course that makes a difference to your paint, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I washed mine with the soapy water and all that. I then did a step more and went over with some IPA, just to get rid of anything else. Actually, I mean, this is going on all right.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to last, I suppose it's going to peel off, but it's just an experiment. So I'm just going to let that dry and see what happens. But yeah, I will share my screen again. I showed it at the beginning of the stream. Oh God, I'm inviting. Hang on.
Yeah, they're stuck nicely now.
I've got this happened. That was with IPA'd, washed. I didn't sand it at the time, but the primer went on beautifully, and we're using Tamiya fine surface primer, light grey.
Yeah,
that went on lovely. And then when I did the final top coat, this is the second coat, all these the grey started to come through in spots all around it, and so I've ended up having to sand a lot of these panels down. This is the back. Prepped, and then it had 2-3 coats of primer, light coats of primer. Top coat reacted like this, and I've got these funny lines in it, and dots everywhere. This bit came out beautifully, as you can see, but the outside didn't. So yeah, that was that, and then I got a little bit stressed with it because I'm quite new to this. And then I ended up overspraying and messed it up completely. You see the paint ran there. I tried to get most of it off while it was still wet. So it did come out all right, but it started running with thick coat of paint. And then inside there, it went a bit funny. So yeah, I've had to sand it all back, and that was done. That was done as supposed to be. But as you can tell, I did this exactly the same time, the cab, and it came out beautifully. Needs another coat. Apart from inside there, the same sort of reactions happened. But you're not going to really see that. But the outside was okay.
Yeah.
So this happened with I'm just going to get my glove because I don't want to get any. I've been starting to wear gloves on the unpainted stuff.
Yeah.
So this is, I managed to sand it back with some wet and dry, and it's really smooth now. And this is one very fine coat of primer on there already. I need to do another coat or two. So the inside looks all right. I mean, it's a little bit grey up there because I was spraying it with primer. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to salvage this again, which I'm sure I will. But it's just that reacted. The bonnet reacted, as you saw. So I've had to sand that back with some wet and dry. That needs priming again. The same thing happened with the doors. You can see on the back there exactly what the paint was doing.
Yeah.
That's fresh. Like, you can see it's all bubbled up, and that was with and separated, and that was with IPA, that was with washing up liquid. Again, I didn't sand it. Maybe that was my problem, but it certainly would have been clean.
Second.
It's just like the paint's all separated and gone funny. You can see, like, in between, you know, it's not. It's weird. And then the same happened with the panels as well. So I've had to sand them back. Similar thing on the back. And this one as well, I showed earlier. I'm not sure if I'll pick it up. Is it this one? No, this one. The little on here, the side bits that we're going to be putting in. Here it is. This one developed.
Oh yeah.
Come on. Come on, camera. There you go. You see there's a dot right in the middle of that panel. So the same thing actually happened with that as well. So obviously I was a bit deflated about all of that. But I've sanded it all back, and then I've bought another can of paint because I wouldn't have had enough to do everything again because the Tamiya spray paints are only small. And then I'm going to give the cab obviously another coat. And what I might try and do is sand. I'm going to give that a little bit of a sand down, rub, and then just hit it with another coat, a top coat, see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm not too bothered about the inside because you're not really going to see it. As long as the outside's all right, I think I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just touching my engine up again.
Oh, it's good. I love touching up. I hate the first coat because it doesn't go on properly. But then when you start getting building the layers up and it goes on nicely, that's the bit I love.
Yeah.
So I'm now going to have a go at just doing the rocker cover.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I'm just going to mix this paint up. I like the smell of this paint. It smells fruity. Yeah. It smells like fruit.
Fruity, yeah. Fruity paint, yeah. Right. Okay, let's get that. Let's pop it on there a second, I think. Somewhere there. There we are. Whew. So I've touched up my bit on the battery. I'm going to put a little red dot on one of the battery and the battery mountings to say that it's positive. So yeah. Lindsay's build says primer I use is high coat for plastics. Makes a good blocker from the plastic.
Mm. Oh, right, okay. Well, that's worth noting. I mean, I've started using, well, I've been using this one for the fine surface primer for plastic and metal.
Yeah, I've got that, and I've got the what do they call it now? Plastic coat with a K. Yeah, I use the plastic coat as well for some projects, but it's not pretty good for them all. It's just some it's okay for. Yeah, plastic coat with a K. Is that dried now? I think it's dried.
Right, I'm just going to rinse out my water and my brush properly with some soap, because I'm now going to go in with some red.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just touch this up in a few places and then see what else I can do. I'm leaving this as long as possible before I actually attach it to the model. So yes, I am a bit of a scaredy cat when things like this happen, but yeah, it'll be okay. It'll be all right on the night. So it's got the axle done. Axle, engine, yeah, chassis, that's sad. Right, what else is there on the, yeah, the prop shaft to build. So, yeah, I'm doing mine with just the plain red wheels, and Alex is doing his as per the box with the black inside the wheels. And so, yeah, I didn't realise that these were, that with it actually being 1/24 scale, they're exactly the same scale as the Sunstar models, which is brilliant. So we have a couple of Sunstar models too. Do I need to paint anything else black? Goodness me, I'm tired out. So
that's the thing, isn't it? You can just like go for hours.
I know. Well, if we're not careful, we're going to be beating the Orbitown modelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, done that. So,
Are you ready now? Then have you had enough?
not quite. I'm just looking through what else I can actually physically do. I've got everything pretty much painted. It's just a case of when this axle is dry, I can put the rear axle on. But I need, pretty much at the same time, I need to put the prop shaft on. The prop shaft isn't quite dry yet. So, and I've got the prop shaft to build up as well, with the nodule at the small end and the big nodule at the big end and the other nodule in the middle. So what I'm trying to do is make it so that I can build it up in a lump sum, you know, because obviously in this stage 3 you've got it says putting the engine in pretty much at the beginning. Well, I've left the engine out because I want to be careful that I don't break anything off the engine, so I've left the engine out and I've started adding the bits that it says on the instructions, you know, like the tank brackets and the little brackets for the springs, etc. Then I've added the front axle, I've added the steering rod, I've left the exhaust off, but I've put the exhaust bracket on. I've put the other 2 spring brackets on. I've built the axle and springs separately, and I'll put them on in a lump. I've built the battery box and the step and the step brackets, put all them on together, and I've touched them back up on the chassis. So it pretty much leaves just the prop shaft and the back axle and springs and the engine to bolt on all together. So what I may do is go back to the instructions again, put the engine in. I'll put the exhaust on, and then I'll put the back axle and the springs and the prop shaft on all together because I've already got the battery box on. Okay, so that's probably the way that I'll do it, but I need to just let these bits really dry now before I do anything else. So, but at the end of this stage, I'll be completing pretty much all the running gear, apart from putting the wheels on. Because the next stage is stage 4, is it? Yeah, stage 4. On stage 4, I'll be doing the fuel tank and the other brackets for the other running board and step, which is quite easy. So I'll leave that till the next stage, and then putting the wheels on, and then some details on the chassis, and then I move on to the cab. So in the next stage, then I know that I'll be able to do the tank, the running board, and the step, and I'll be able to get the wheels on, and I'll be able to put the couple of small details on the chassis if they're painted, and then I'll be able to start on the cab on the next show. Okay. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that, with the project, with the progress that I've done tonight. So I need to get this paint away and get me brush in some water.
So, do you find with this red paint that if you accidentally go over a bit that you've done,
yeah,
comes off, like flakes off the paint?
Depends if your brush is dragging, is it? Is your brush dragging? Have you got plenty on your brush? Not too much on your brush, of course.
Well, yeah, I think so. See what I mean? Like here, it's just like ripping the paint back off, like a. I think when it's like drying so quick.
Oh, that's a bit odd, isn't it? What else have we got done tonight? We've got, yeah, that's to go on. In fact, that can be cut off there now because that might have dried. Yeah, that's dried, so that can be cut off there now. And that can go with the other bits. Okay, that's nice. So that's the exhaust. Yeah, so we've just got a pile of bits that we've obviously been doing. I mean, obviously I've got my bits all in the boxes here to keep them safe, and I've been priming all the wings and such like, and the bonnet, the lovely bonnet front. So the Bedford bonnet front. There's some decals to go on there, Alex. Did you know that? There's a little round decal, and there's a Bedford decal to go on that on the.
Oh yes,
just
the top one on the left, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. And
have you done your oil cap silver?
No, I've left it black. I think let's just have a look on the other side. Yeah, I've left it black.
Right. I haven't painted that at all yet.
To be careful where I touch that now, because some of it is still wet. So Anfield Road layout in the loft says it's a good stream. Thank you very much for that, Lee. Very much appreciated.
I've really enjoyed it tonight.
Yeah, we've really made some progress and really got somewhere, I think. So I can't wait to get onto the bodywork, because as you all know, I love bodywork, and yeah, the doors and everything else. So, and the bonnet. So what we were saying, Lindsay, was the bonnet with the bonnet sides. I was going to make that up into a whole section so that I could just lift the bonnet off the model, to show the engine. So is that possible, do you know? Or I would have thought it would be possible, but obviously I'm not too sure whether you can. But that's what I would like to do, is lift the bonnet off as a complete unit with the sides so we can actually see the engine. So that's what I'd like to do. And then I think the cab doors might be difficult to position, whether we position them open or closed, or whether they can actually be swung open. I'm not sure whether they can. So Lee says, I like to see the stream and working on my model builds for my live stream tomorrow. Yeah, that's great. We've got Max Modz on tonight, and he's actually building away. He said he was doing it last week. He was building along with us, but a different model, of course. And I like to do that as well. I like to watch people on YouTube and build away as well. And you know, sometimes we get you guys to look at the camera to look what we've done, but you know, when we're just rattling on and we're just talking about things, you know, there's plenty of scope there for you guys to just get on with your models. And so it's just a free and easy night, really, of building away with Horlicks and DS models and vintage.
Yes, right. That's the first coat of red on. I'm going to wait for that to fully dry before I do another coat. So I'll probably do that either off stream if I fancy it, or I'll wait till next week or next time we're on. But because this paint takes a bit longer to dry than the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to start pulling up paint, but I'm really happy with that. I seem to have kept some really straight lines around the head there.
Yeah, brill. Yeah, that's brilliant.
So it's really coming along together now. Just got the silver bits to do.
Yeah. So Lindsay says these make beautiful models. I've built all 4 of them, plus done conversions with them. Brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. We'd love to see pictures of them if we could. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So, and as I say, I've got all 4 to do, and no doubt Horlicks will be getting another one when he's finished this one, if he likes it that much.
Yeah, I might do.
So yeah, they are a beautiful model without a shadow of a doubt. So, and I love the scale too, because I like large scale of everything. So yeah, 1/24th, and I've got some Sunstar bus models that are 1/24th, so go nicely with them. And it's just a pity they don't do anything Bedford in 1/12 scale. That would be absolutely superb to go with our Route Masters and such like. A Bedford in 1/12 scale would be just heavenly. It really would. So if we're at a point where we think we could knock our stream off, then Horlicks, we'll do that if you want.
Yes. Yeah, I think we've done enough today.
Give me a second while I get a drink.
Just trying to clean these brushes off best I can.
Yeah, I'll have to go do mine properly when I finish the streaming.
Yeah, in the sink. I've got to put them away. I've made a right old mess on my desk.
Well, you and me too. You and me too. But having said that, we've had fun, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's taken me a long time to do that, but as I say, I'm not experienced at all. So just take time and just have fun with it. And that's what I'm doing. So there you go. I've only done a lot, but it's enough.
I mean, yeah, I could pick out details on, the bits of the axle and such like, and the bits of the chassis. But I'm thinking that I don't want to go too far over the top with it being the first one that I've done, and see now the land lies really with everything. But I'm really pleased with how everything's looking so far.
Yeah. I think, you know, I'll be happier once that paint sits on that rear cab and everything.
Yes, yeah.
There, that is the main part that you're going to be looking at.
Yeah.
So, you know, I will be so much more happier when that goes on better.
Yeah.
Until then, I'm actually really nervous. So,
sit down, Mills. Right, I'm just going to change my camera.
Okay.
My dog's getting, he's wanting to go out now, so he's getting frustrated, is my dog. So yeah, hello everybody. So yeah, so instead of watching the bench, you're watching us. So we haven't got a proper workbench or anything. I'm just on a dining room table, and so yeah, that's the way we prefer to build and what have you. So yeah, I've got some clearing up to do when before my wife comes in, if you know what I mean. So, right, okay. So some of the chat's absolutely fantastic. So we've got good stream, twin builds there. Yeah, twin builds. That's what we're doing. So Marvel Picks, excellent work, gentlemen. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Anfield Road layout in the loft says good stream. Was good to see what you were all building. Thank you very much for that, Lee. Lindsay's build says, is it possible but to do a lot of mocking with the whole front assembly? So a lot of modding with the whole front assembly. Yeah, it is possible, isn't it? Yeah. So I would have thought that with it being a Bedford chassis and Bedford wheels, would you be able to build, and you have to know your vehicles for this, would you be able to build a Bedford Green Goddess 2-wheel drive Bedford Green Goddess? Not a 4-wheel drive one, a 2-wheel drive one. You know, the Bedford S-type Bedford Green Goddess fire engine. Would it be possible to do that, I suppose, with that type of chassis? I would have said so, because the wheels are right. The Bedford style wheels are absolutely spot on. The engine, well, they actually had a bit bigger engine. They had a 29 horsepower, I think it was, whereas these are 27 horsepower, right? 27, 28 horsepower, but I think they have a little bit bigger engine, 30 horsepower, something like that. But a straight 6-cylinder petrol engine, just the same. So the axles were pretty much the same on the 2-wheel drive Bedford Green Goddesses. So yeah, that is possible. Yeah, thinking about the scuttle part inside, that would probably be the same. You don't only have to scratch build the cab and everything, and then the back body. So yeah, that would be possible. Yeah, you could build Bedford MWs. Is it the MWs? The ones? Am I thinking? No, not the MWs. Yeah, could be the MWs, the square-fronted ones, Bedfords, because they had the same chassis. So in either short wheelbase or long wheelbase, you could do one of them, because they have actually got half the wings are the same as these, and they'd have a square front end, so you'd be able to scratch build that quite easily. They'd have the same engine, same gearbox, same axles, with the 2-wheel drive ones, and they would have lorry backs on with a canvas hoop and everything. So yeah, you'd be able to build one of them. So yeah, the possibilities are, I would have said, endless at building whatever you could build that way. Yeah, certainly is. So Dee says, really good show tonight, gents. See you next week for another one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And Lisa looks good. Later, Dee. See you later, Lee. Good night. Yeah, and excellent work, gentlemen. Yeah, we've gone through all that. So thank you very much. So before you leave tonight, gents, ladies and gents, please leave a nice good thumbs up for us both, and subscribe if you already haven't done so. And then if you've got a channel, we normally subscribe back as well. So you'll find that we normally subscribe. And as you've seen in the chat there, when Lindsay came along, we shared the love, and we shared the channels and everything, and that's how we usually work it, so that everybody gets a fair crack of the whip, so to speak.
It's great to see different people and how they do things, like thank you, Lindsay, for the recommendation for the primer. If I'm still having problems, that might be something the route I can go down, and it's all about learning, isn't it?
Definitely so. Yeah, definitely so. And you'll also see.
And I learned the hard way. Sorry, I learned the hard way. You'll probably remember a fair few years ago, I've got a 3D printer, and I decided to do a 3D printed VW camper. Can I show you? Can I show you? Yeah. So I 3D printed this, and like did it as a plastic kit and painted it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. I've put my own electronics in it, and put the switch as like a gear stick. I like putting lights on stuff. But this is the first time I had ever tried to paint anything, and you probably remember this, Dave. I decided to use black primer for the whole thing. As you can see, I left the black primer on the bottom because there was no need to paint that black. And yeah, it took about at least 30 coats of white to try and get that black gone from the top, and it still looks grey. Like that's not white.
Yeah,
you can probably still see the black, and there's about 30 coats of white over that.
Yeah,
and that was my learning curve. Like I had no idea. I just assumed being white it would cover it nicely, but
yeah,
it doesn't work like that. And so that was my very first, and now I've learned that never prime in black if you're going to go light colour. And I feel really stupid for that because it's obvious, but at the time you just don't think about it.
You wouldn't think about it naturally, would you? You would think, well, surely this is going to work. But then it's when you get some experience like that, then you know for the future, don't you?
Yeah.
So we all live and learn at the end of the day, don't we?
And it does seem to be that light grey is a popular choice for everything, really. It's like a one for all, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I was off track. What you were saying.
I don't know what I was saying. What I was going to say was, if Lindsay's still here or anybody new watching, you'll see some of the things in the outro. Yeah, still here. So you'll see some of the things in the outro of funny things that's happened to us in our community whilst we've been building something. And most of it revolves around me. But that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And so included in the outros now is some outtake photos of yours truly and others where we've had funny moments in our YouTubing. So because we have a bit of clean fun, don't we? So yeah. So Lindsay says, you mean the OX? Yeah, the OX one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's the square bonnet. Yeah, the OX. Yeah, or the OW? No. Yeah, definitely the OX or the OY. Yeah, something like that. I'm not genned up enough on my Bedfords, so you might have me there.
I've just written down that primer.
Oh, good. Jolly good. Excellent. Yeah, that's something I might try as well, because I've been trying that other primer, that Plasticoat, which is okay. But the Plasticoat that I tried, I actually tried some on that. This Route Master behind me, it's in build at the moment, and it's I'm painting it into Southend transport colours, blue and white, and I've been trying to Plasticoat some bits earlier on today, but I think it was just too damp and too cold, so I'll have to try that another time. Okay. So,
Right,
schedule, I suppose.
yes. So, what are we doing tomorrow?
So, schedule tomorrow at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. It will be moi. I'll be doing a Route Master show, I think. So at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, and I'll be messing around with the blue one behind me, I think. If not, it will be the open top one. It'll be one or the other, depending on how I get on tomorrow with some bits and bobs for it and whether I can build a show up. But look out for that on my YouTube, and that'll be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And all being well, I'll get a little show together and put something together. It'll be my first Route Master one after Christmas, I think, won't it? So yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, and that'll be tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. So then Monday evening at 7 p.m. it'll be Yorkshire Crafter and Crafty Chris with the Disney Doll's House, and that'll be building the Disney Doll's House from Harshette at Monday evening at 7 p.m. Okay. So I do know that Sunday evening, usually at 7 p.m, it's the Nexus UK that goes live. That tells us all about the part work builds that's coming out here, there, and everywhere, and the different builds. So it's worthwhile watching if you're into part works and such like. So yeah, that's the Nexus UK at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. But other than that, I'll see you tomorrow night. So thank you ever so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, etc. Very much appreciated. And yeah, this is coming along lovely, and I think it's definitely worthwhile doing on a live stream. And yeah, well, our next one will be, I don't know when.
We just sort of decide as and when there's a slot, really. There isn't really a because obviously Wednesday, maybe next Saturday again.
Could be, yeah.
I mean, Saturday seems to be free, so maybe because we were going to do some Wednesdays, like every other Wednesday, weren't we?
Yeah.
Unless we do every other Saturday, I don't know. We're just
well,
decide.
Play it by ear a little bit, yeah. And as the year goes on, we'll just keep on building. Be either once a fortnight, once a week, once every 3 weeks, depending on what we're doing. So keep an eye out for this coming up on your list. So if you press the bell notification, it'll bring it to the forefront of your viewing history. So if we're coming live and if you press the bell, then you'll see us coming on live that night. Okay. Yeah. Laughing out loud, yeah. I do have a book as well.
Obviously, as Dave said, we have got other builds we do which are structured. So excuse me, I go live every Friday evening with the VW camper. That's normally, unless something comes up, on 7 o'clock Fridays. We've all got our slots, and it's all in the schedule, which you'll find on the Facebook group, pinned in the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it then. So yeah, really thoroughly enjoyed it tonight. Don't forget, Lee's live tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So head over there at 5 and give some support over to Lee.
Yeah.
And I think that's it then from us tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I've thoroughly enjoyed it as normal, and it's been nice to have new faces come along as well. So yeah, thank you very much for that.
And I noticed this has been very popular, this build, because looking at last week, there's quite a few views on this. So yeah, it seems to be going really well. So
it does.
Okay then. Well, I'm going to hit the outro that's been amended for the 3rd time. So enjoy. And we'll see you on the next show, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. If I can find it. There you go.